Now, by the side of Bleed, RSG bans away the chip this time around. So if we take a look back in game number 1 where Bleed is first pick, they actually banned the exact same thing. Ling, Fanny, and what probably coming out from Bleed, probably the Hayabusa.
Yeah, ban the chip and you are good. But now with the Hayabusa, right? With the Hylos, with the Harif still being in that pool. We see Harif being very strong in terms of having that zone control with Hylos. But whether or not you can disengage from that, whether or not you are engaging into that, whether you have that stronger AoE or the stronger disengagement, that's going to be that drafting pattern that needs to come true from Imba DJ and Young.
Yeah, right now, Phobius banned around this slot as well from side RSG. Phobius really strong right now, especially with the assassin meta. There you go, will get taken away.
Yeah.
Do you think, though, the Luyi will be giving out again for the side of RSGSG here?
No, I personally feel like the Loi, it's really there to counter the Vexana. Unless Kiwi goes for something else, I don't think you'll see the Loi coming up from RSG.
And it was really in synergy with the Hayabusa as well, who has been taken out of the equation. Having that ability to split the team fight with that Shadow Play into Shadow Kill, then, I mean, Hayabusa diving that back line together with the diversion. That's what you want to see from RSG. Now you don't have the Hayabusa. Do you still go for that Luoyi though? And now with the final ban, I mean, you gotta take out the Hylos, right? You don't want to give it for free to Bleed.
Yeah, you can, but Mathilda right now, don't forget the new flavor of the month, right? Like you can force the assassin to play a little bit more aggressive. Look at Bleed, definitely first picking the assassin right off bat. Doesn't want to give RSG another assassin. What's the next best assassin in this particular patch?
Julian! Just kidding.
Exactly, right? So that's the reason why. Unless RSG goes for something like a Joy.
They can go for a fighter utility as well. I mean, going for the Alpha is also really an
that
answer.
works.
But now they do go for the Edith, the Harif. I mean, this means Hylos is still in the pool. But Bleed, they go for the Lunox.
Lunox really strong against the Harif. Don't forget, it's a one massive counter. You lay down the Zaman Force, you go into Brilliance, boom, you can't target me, haha. And then after that, I'm just gonna shred. And that also works well against the Edith. So really nice choice coming out of Imba DJ this time.
Nice. And the damage is there in the early stage of the game as well. So I think Bleed right now will transition in such a way they can be aggressive, and with this Hylos pick, of course, you don't want to give it away in the side here.
They have to deny it. They have to deny it. Zamon's Force with that Glorious Pathway is a lot of zones of control. RSG, they do have the Edith to answer back. Harif does have the counter control for Hylos right now, but now they have to think about locking down that Nolan. And Nolan is still... There's no answer for it. Do you pick a Tigreal? Do you pick something like a Minotaur? Just try to get that blanket control in space? Or do you go for that singular control?
Or Kari?
I think for Nolan, heck, even the Eudora is actually a big problem for Nolan, by the way.
Yeah.
But I jokes aside, I think Minotaur is definitely a lot more easier to execute as compared to Tigreal. Tigreal needs a lot more setups instead, but okay, RSG goes for the Lancelot. Oh, I forgot about the Lancelot. Yon used to play a lot of Lancelot back in Season 5 as when that was a tank Lancelot. But now this is an assassin Lancelot. You got the iframes, exactly what the Hayabusa does.
And pound for pound, Lancelot, I believe, does fit very well in this meta here, but they still need the tools to make it work, right? They need to counter damage onto Nolan, to counter lockdown. The only thing that they have right now is the Earth Shatter. And if Bleed take away the Minotaur, they take away those blanket skills that Bleed, that RSG might potentially pull out, Bleed might be winning in drafts here.
Looking at the bans right now coming up from RSG. That's a Farum is taken away. Bleed could start locking down. Okay, literally a little bit of knee-jerk reaction coming out right there. Bans away that Loi. Unless Bleed has something up their sleeve. Lunox mid lane?
I mean, if I were RSG, that ban for Faramis really highlights that I want to pick up the Valentina, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it really highlights that I want to pick up the Valentina, and it does really well with that Glorious Pathway as well, but they do back?
No, they ban it away.
Yeah, they do ban out
they
the
ban it
Valentina.
away. So right now, Bleed maybe locking down on more mid laners, right? Like, what's next? Zask?
Kadita?
Kadita? Oh, unless Roy brings it back. Yeah.
Yeah, Roy can
We
potentially...
almost forgot about the Kadita, but there's a lot of iframes on the side of Bleed, so I don't think Kadita is a good idea unless they can actually lock them down with the Petrify.
with the Kaja, Petrify, or having a Jawhead maybe,
Yep.
would be in the favor of RSG if they had that lockdown. And they still do need a lockdown for Nolan. I mean, Earthshatter is not going to be cutting it.
Yeah, that's why I was suggesting a Minotaur, right? It's something easy to play. Just knock up everybody, booyah, and then all of a sudden you win.
Booyah ban.
That's a Jawhead ban away from the side of Bleed. That takes a long time. You can see him, but DJ, the gears literally turning in his head. RSG right here. Okay, what they're looking for, mid laner or perhaps a roamer. I think they can hold on to that EXP laner decision right now because Edith can easily be flexed. RSG right here. Perhaps pick up a mid laner. What mid laners are good here? Kadita, you mentioned about that. Unless you want to go back into the
Vex,
good old
Aurora.
days of Aurora is actually good.
Yeah, Aurora would be good as well, but they do pick up the Vexana.
Once again.
Okay, Vexana, I mean, would be having these kind of problems where if you dive your backline, right, Vexana has to play so safe. And Roy, I believe he's much more of an aggressive player. When you compare him to Kiwi, he's going to be in a situation where, yeah, that flicker is going to be burnt no matter what. And Roy, he has to be versatile in his playstyle. He has to switch it up right now if he wants to stand a chance against Bleed.
Man, I can remember the good old days when Roy debuted. He played the Kagura. Something really
way.
up in your face kind of mages, right? And it's a little bit more, and he's more aggressive than Sailor, right? Who was touted as like the Kagura king back in Season 2, Season 3. Right, but now Vexana being selected right here by the side of RSG. Bleed needs to do something right here. Aurora selected, and the Kufra coming in, trying to find a way to counter against a Harry, counter against the Lancelot.
And I was actually looking forward that RSGSG will go for the Cho, but this Kufra pick is actually very good here for the side of Bleed. I mean, initiation-wise, plus negating those dashes coming in from this Lancelot.
I mean, now RSG, they go for the Arlot, right?
Yeah.
It's just all in their favor to go for the Arlot right now.
Yeah, I think you go for Arlot. But once again, you use an Arlot against a Kufra, that's a little bit kind of nutty, unless RSG go for Minotaur or a Tigreal.
Yeah, Minotaur Tigreal.
I think
fills them
Minotaur
all.
is better
Yeah, yeah,
because
I think
Minotaur fulfills them. all.
yeah, because a Tigreal, the combo will get broken by the Aurora very easily because of the Frigid Glacier and also the second skill. So RSG this time
Tigreal.
round, that's a Tigreal, okay. Trusting and hopefully, the Tigreal works this time around.
Yeah, but I could have agreed with you, Jace, with regards to the Minotaur pick
Yep.
because
CC
once
immunity.
yeah, exactly. Plus the sustain as well, it can give to the side of RCSG. But anyway, of course, Tigreal, you need that hard crowd control in this kind of lineup, especially with the Vexana and Harith pick here.
Yeah, I mean, just the ability to just lock down with that implosion, I feel that they value it a lot more versus that Nolan, right? Minotaur, he does have that wide blanket Minoan Fury, but there is no lockdown happening when he's channeling that ability. So Nolan still has that window to get out.
Earthshatter, I think it's all relying on layering RSG's CCs, right? Eternal Guard to a certain extent can also help with the knockup, right? So yeah, but the problem about Nolan is like you blink and he just
gone.
dives you, right? So the only way maybe instead of using the Minotaur, the thought process is to try to combo break the Nolan by pushing him away using the Tigreal.
Yeah, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Last game of the series, RSG, they're looking for their first series win against Bleed, who has tied things up 1-1.
Man, I can feel the pressure of the series, to be
Definitely.
honest. If RSG won this game, the momentum will be shifting really on their side here.
Yeah, I mean, this transfer window definitely should have benefited RSG. We start to see a little bit, maybe game number 1 was just a warm-up from Gear, but game number 2, man, RSG, I think they won kind of convincingly, right? And that's exactly what RSG needed after a very bad start for the regular season.
Yeah, now Deck, he will be having that Nolan piloted by him. He does want this early advantage, especially versus the Lancelot, who takes
Yeah.
a lot slower to just get online.
And speaking of Lancelot, this is actually the first time you're going to see her for a while.
Yeah.
And this assassin hero, we've seen so many highlights coming in from this hero, and let's see if Yon will be able to show us another highlight.
Yon should be able to. He's performed quite well on the Lancelot. Back then it was a tank slot, right? But take a look at the emblems, talents from Yon. That's a Warcry, right? Because right now, yeah, thank you very much. Warcry coming in from the side of Yon wants to make sure that he's constantly outputting the dash, outputting the damage, damage. Thorn Rose would be very painful. I think recently I'm seeing a lot of Lancelot picking up the War Axe instead as the first core item.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fight slot, right? It's gonna be assassin
fight
slot.
slot.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a tank slot meta this time, so it's gonna be slightly different. But now we do see in the bottom lane, right? We have CS and FMM. They will be head-to-head against each other. Now they don't have, CS doesn't have that hero advantage anymore. But with the first turtle already spawning in,
Yeah, Jay
Closing
going
it
to
up.
channel this one, but it's too late. That is going to be dead though, securing that one.
so
easy.
close.
Oh, they're pushing through. Closer here with the Outshatter as well. Gear follow up in a knock-up. And Eternal Guard as well, but yeah, not enough damage.
I never thought I could see a horse flying. You take a look, he's constantly getting knocked up, right? On top of the Earth Shatter and Roy's Eternal Guard, the high loss constantly goes in there, and that's basically a bit of a tasting what RSG can do.
What?
Okay.
Oh, gear.
First day back to office, I guess.
Yeah, Flicker being used right there. I mean, potentially trying to find a knockup, but not getting that target that he wanted. Now in a lot of danger. Does not have that Flicker though.
Tyrant's Revenge. Deck here with that Fracture as well, and Gear will fall. Great setup here coming in from Jay.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the Lancelot, right? You need a lot of farm to get going. You can't exactly be that key burst damage you need in this early game fight. And that's the problem where it comes to RSG. Where's this early game burst coming from? They have their mid game secured, yes, but in this early game, they're definitely going to struggle.
Yeah, Nolan's already scaling, right? And now with the Blade Half a Seas, he's going to do a lot more damage. Bleed is also the one that secures Turtle for themselves as well. And Deck performed quite well in game number 1 using this this Nolan. So yeah, RSG definitely needs to, I think that that missed flicker right there,
Yep.
I think hurt.
RSG in the earlier chance. But hey, it's just first day back in office. Welcome back, yeah?
Yeah, they just want to hold as much as possible. Not give away too much net worth, I believe, because RSG, they're just fighting for this mid game here. Second turtle, third turtle, where CS does have his Zamon's Force up and running, and with a Harif running full damage at you, it's going to be pretty hard to fight these team fights.
Yeah, the playing RSG is playing around CS right now. Roy and also that Tigro setting it up down the bottom lane, because don't forget Harif is countered by the Lunos, right? Dominic also scouting out Gear. I think we're just preparing for the turtle.
Oh, Dominic. Flanking maneuver. Now at least he spotted Gear here, and it is going to be Bleed trying to go for the turtle, but the implosion is there. Still, Deck secures the neutral objective. Glorious Pathway is here. Gear very low once again, but it's going to be now Dominic going to go for the chase, and FMM secures a double there, and Closer will be the third one to fall down, and Jay secures that pickoff, and Yon CS backs away.
I'm very confused with RSG's movements right here. They do go for the implosion, they do go for the team fight, but who's not there? Yon is taking the purple buff. His retribution is used on that purple buff. They were not contesting the turtle at all.
Yeah, I think it's just RSG. They're dancing in different. They're dancing in different step in the same song, right? So
Yeah.
RSG definitely, I think, like what I was talking about, right? Like with Gear coming in, it could potentially mess up the whole team dynamics. Maybe it could work for game number 2, but I think right now, game number 3, you need all of that.
Yeah, man.
And don't forget, Yon definitely doesn't really have the items to really burst anybody down. Deck by now should be able to, so that's why RSG, that's probably why they don't really want to engage.
Yeah, RSG, they lose that mid-game power spike that they were going for. And now with that decision being made, how do they come back here? Because all they have to do is they have to rely on Closer, right?
And CS. CS hasn't joined the fight yet.
Jay! That's a big Tyrant's Revenge there, but again, counter play here with Eternal Guard, and now Gear backs away, and now the Zaman Force is well being laid down. Look at Kiwi and FMM, free hitting on the back lines, but Roy secures Dominic in the process.
I hate when I'm right.
Yeah, man.
When I said CS need to start joining, there you go. Once CS join the fight, 3 members from the side, Bleed goes down.
Yeah, easy fight for RSG. They want this mid-game team fight going as much as possible, where Yon is online. And now that Yon joined to get the fight together with CS, they had the damage to go onto Deck. Deck cannot play as unabided as he has been.
Will they punish FMM though? 3 against 1. He has still the ultimate over brilliance. Managed to fend off the aggressive play coming in from RSG. It is Jay and Dominic here fending them off as well.
Yeah, they have to worry about that implosion timing.
Yeah, Roy's second skill right there definitely saved Bleed. And I think that's what they're relying on. Gear goes and conceal. Jay maybe charging up.
No, I guess they will not take this one, and Yon will be securing that neutral objective for you.
Yeah, once Yon is online, RSG's mid game, it is theirs to take. They have to start getting these objectives, farming these objectives. Meanwhile, you see Bleed trying to make these cross-map plays, but...
Again, FMM, wow, the battlefield's split into two. And look at this Frigid Glacier coming from Kiwi, but isolated Dominic there. Closer, very low, flickers back, but still been picked off by Dominic.
Yeah,
A bit disjointed, right?
a bit disjointed.
Like, if you notice how Dominic really splits up RSG apart and just peeled, right? And Closer losing their life, and there's no support coming in after going in human form. Yeah, so RSG losing that one earlier.
Very good decision making by Deck to go for that cross map plays, taking away Yon's attention, because he would have absolutely obliterated that team fight if he were there. But just Deck being present at the bottom lane, taking that tower as well. And this is what Bleed has to go for. They know that they cannot match up in terms of team fight. They have to start distracting members away.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened in game number 1, right? When RSG is not together as 5 men, they will crumble. Dominic?
Wow, forcing this one. Trying to go for the pressure on the top side, and I'm not sure what was that call there, but great defense here by RSGSG.
Yeah, green carpet for some weird reason right there, right? And when the turret is up, there are not a lot of minions. The rest of the RSG members are there. They can just wave clear very easily with Roy and CS. Not too sure why.
They wanted to force the engage on the horse, right? I mean, they have no other full initiation other than the Kufra. And Kufra shines when people are jumping on one of your heroes. So that's what they were going for in RSG. They called their bluff.
Yeah. Nice movements coming off from Deck right there, dodging that Earth Shatter. And if you look at how Dominic is right here as this Hylos with the Revitalize, just take a look at RSG. Who can deal damage against Dominic, right? There's a lot of bursty damage coming out from RSG, but not a lot of sustained DPS. Only when Closer goes into human form, that's when he can deal with Dominic, but usually Closer will be the one engaging slightly towards the front. He doesn't play at the back.
Yeah, and Dominic is still being a huge threat, especially in terms of just soaking up damage. RSG, they need to prioritize. They need to go on the key targets. You want to find Kiwi, FMM, or Deck.
Gold lead right now is equal. RSG,
Oh, full commitment, dragging out the horse, but this is going to be the counterplay with the Tyrant's Revenge here. And now Gear, half of the health. It is going to be Deck going to go back away. Dominic still surviving the glorious pathway. And now look at the burst damage, but still Closer. Roy, sliver of health there. Managed to go back away, but they will transition here for the Lord takedown.
good plays coming off from RSG right there. Burning a bleed all the way down, but even though RSG is super low, they're still forcing it.
Yeah, look at the Hailstorm coming in from Kiwi. Now Gear, 1/4 of health. It is now going to be Dominic here, and the burst damage here for Deck. Secures the tank roamer here from RSG. Now CS is here in the middle. Summon Force. Oh, Dominic with a big kill, and Deck secures the Lord as well.
Yon using the Phantom Execution. I thought that, the Lord is actually down low. They tried to contest for it. I think the timing is wrong coming up from RSG. Roy is not there. He had to back off earlier just now. Bleed took the opportunity. RSG was forcing that Lord fight a little bit too much.
Yeah, RSG believed that they had the damage. They wanted to force them away by initiating on Dominic. But if you're not able to kill Dominic, why initiate on
Exactly
him?
what I was talking about, right? Dominic is the biggest problem that RSG needs to resolve. And that's why you see the Wishing Lantern coming into play, because there's nobody that could literally shred this horse right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of problems. This horse, it's either you ignore him and he becomes a problem later on, or you kill him.
Yeah, I like to procrastinate. I think RSG need to procrastinate on Dominic right now. Burst down Kiwi, burst down FMM, but like I said, how do you catch FMM? Goes into Brilliance, you can't do anything. The iframes is so annoying. Now RSG needs to deal up top and also at the bottom at the same time. Bleed is looking to handshake a teamfight anytime.
Well, I thought the Hylos had been nerfed here in this current patch, but Dominic absorbs a lot of initial damage here still.
Yeah, of course, because RSG has an Harif, has a Vexana. Those two are your main damage dealers.
Oh, but that is somehow very cheeky for Dominic, and he still survived! Deck here with that fracture play obliterates Roy in the map.
Yep, assassination complete by Bleed. Deck is just assassinating left, right, center because RSG, their attention is divided, right?
I mean, you picked up a Tigreal, right? You picked up a Tigreal, and that's now your destiny to, as Gear, you want to land that Implosion onto FMM or Deck no matter what. But he's been using it on Dominic multiple occasions, and that's not what you want to see. You have to burst damage to take out Deck. All the farm is on Deck at this point. If you take him out, there goes the rest of the game plan for Bleed. They don't have the rest of the damage to follow through.
Yep.
But that's just not the execution we've been seeing from RSG.
So I think RSG took a very good fight earlier just now before the Lord fight. They forced the Lord. That was a bad decision. Bleed took that, abused that, took the Lord, and now all of a sudden Bleed has majority of the map control. Gear goes to Kusil looking for a target. Kiwi giving a wide berth. They don't want him.
Dominic, again, look at the zone and the knockup. Eternal Guard combo, but Kiwi is here. The Valk lines as well. Deck cleaning up once again. Jay tried to go for the knockup, but Closer here with a Primal Wrath goes for the auto attack there, but Overbrilliance there. And now Deck will be the target. Closer will still survive again.
It's close to death.
Yeah, closer to death.
Yeah, but that's a very good fight. RSG definitely need that one. You see Dominic putting a lot of problem, right? But once Yon picks up the items earlier just now, like what I mentioned, he's going to be more of a fighter Lancelot that can potentially do quite a decent amount of damage against Dominic, right? And Bleed, I think that positioning was good coming up from Kiwi, but RSG, if you fight RSG in that choke point where the Zaman Force just pops off like crazy, you got an Eternal Guard, you see a Flying Horse, now Bleed needs to contest for this Lord.
Oh, great zone coming in from Closer here, as well as Yan. Now Overbrilliance has been used to back away. Jay with a save, with a knock-up as well, and he will fall Yan here on the Lancelot.
They do get the Lord trade for their troubles though, but losing Yon at this point, it's going to be huge for the momentum of RSG. They won't be able to take many key objectives with the jungler gone.
Yeah, good decision coming up from RSG this time, especially with Closer right there, just pushing Deck away. Once you push Deck away, the Lord is theirs. And now with this Luminous Lord, by the way, RSG needs to make maximum damage against Bleed. Don't forget, RSG is playing from behind. They need to try to use this Lord to equalize the gold, equalize the damage.
Wow, look at the macro play coming in from Deck as well, going to go for the push while defending right now. He's too far out.
And this forces Yon to just be in that base. So that means they are fighting this 5-on-4 as Deck will be converging in.
Lord's taking a little bit of trouble right here. RSG, yes. Attention divided once again. I was talking about that one.
That's two flickers. Same result we're seeing here, but I'm not sure. But I can see right now that Gear wants it very aggressive at this point.
Yeah, like RSG, I think that was supposed to be an engage. Don't forget, Tigros rely on the flicker.
Yes.
Ultimate, right? And now it's like another 80 seconds for that one to happen. RSG trying to penetrate through the mid parts of the map, but RSG at the very least still takes down bottom side. Take a look at items out. Yeah, War Axe first item. There we go. And Endless Battle as well. So that's exactly what I mentioned. Yon does have a little bit of DPS, hopefully to deal with Dominic.
Oh, he doesn't have the flicker here, but of course, he still managed to go back away.
Still alive to tell the tale. 15 minutes in, right? This is where Bleed will start getting a bit of steamroll going on, especially with Dominic becoming unkillable. And Deck is going to have a buffet in that backline.
Dominic's already almost unkillable right now, right? This roster from the side of RSG is not meant to deal with Dominic. Not only just that, Bleed actually did a very good defense in the mid lane, right? Because even though there's a Luminous Lord marching down the side lanes, they sacrifice it, at least they still keep the mid lane intact. And that's still the first tier turret. And that is basically means that Bleed has majority control of the map.
Yeah, they will lose slight control in terms of this jungle control, in terms of this purple buff control as well. And we see that Bleed, they really do want to fight for it. Jay's in a great position.
Yeah, bouncing ball. And now they want to protect this purple buff, indeed, for the side of RSG.
And great positioning by Gear to tank the majority of the ganks, because you don't want the damage going on anybody else on your team. Closer is the second viable target. Other than that, if it goes on Roy, if it goes on Yon, if it goes on CS, there goes your game.
Slowing down the tempo just a little bit more. Bleed right here is just biding for time. They do have a little bit of a gold lead, but we're going into more of the later parts of the game. RSG right now itching for any form of opening, and Bleed is not giving it over to RSG.
But RSG, they're free to just play this late game as well. In terms of scalability, both teams, they have very good scalability. Whether or not they make the correct executions. Now we do have the Lord fight.
Gear being pinned down here. still managed to absorb that initial damage. Closer is here, but look at Deck once again. Big pick off against CS. And now this is gonna be Jay with a Tyrant's Rage combo. And now Immortality be pop up. Flicker's been used here. Try to disengage at this moment. And this is big here for Bleed.
Yeah, Bleed takes down the damage dealer from the side of RSG. That's a red carpet for themselves. Then they pave in the blood of RSG towards that Lord Pit, right? Something has to happen for the side of RSG, but look at Bleed. Disciplined plays, they're just letting it go.
Yeah, they're not converting. They're not making the same mistake that RSG did to funnel onto that Lord. And now CS will be spawning up in 5 seconds, but they're not in position to engage. Now Bleed go for this perfect timing on this Lord. They get a free objective here.
Yeah, FMM taking that one instead. I mean, it's still okay, right? That
it
Lord
doesn't
should
matter.
have gone over the side of Bleed. That's exactly what they need. And now that's a battering ram against RSG.
Yeah, they're gonna have to deal with this enhanced Lord on their front line. And oh, look at this macro plays that Deck has done. All this chip damage on that bottom lane turret as well. So that's a lot of pressure. They're gonna lose a lot of turrets here, especially if they don't force out a team fight anytime soon.
I don't think RSG can force it. RSG needs to go back and defend, right? Bleed is the one that is trying to split RSG's attention. This is basically guerrilla warfare that Bleed is committing against RSG.
Yeah, Bleed are playing this lineup perfectly. They just want to just address the way attention. They don't want to fight around an implosion. But now we have it.
Oh, Rigid Glacier. And now it's going to be Dominic here with a stun again in the back lines. Look at that. Ruby DD plays coming in from FMM. And Kiwi with a double as well. Just like that, 2 players here for the side of RSG went down. And 2 inhibitor turrets as well. Yon going in. Trying to defend, playing it safe for now.
Yeah, like they couldn't go for more, right? RSG, Gear getting picked off right there, Roy getting picked off right there, the Frigid Glacier and the constant CCs coming up from Kiwi that's making it so hard. And the worst part is Gear's basically in a bit of a pickle, right? You want to hold your implosion for
no.
FMM or Kiwi.
Oh, Bleed. They want to end this. Yon doing his best here. Trying to clear the waves. Will he be able to do so? And Closer is here. Oh, the trap coming in from Kiwi there. It is going to be now Yon falling down.
Yeah, that's a massive trap. Literally what you said, that I Bleed right there, using FMM as bait. Finds the FMM, you start to see the damage coming from Yon, right? That's half HP gone. But Brilliance immediately, Frigid Glacier right there, making it super hard for RSG to dive onto Bleed.
Yeah, they're not finding the team synergy that they need. And now with Gear getting picked off so early, despite having that immortality, he was forced to use that implosion onto Dominic. Not typically ideal. And RSG, it just feels like if they're not initiating, if they're getting initiated on, they just instantly lose that team fight.
Yeah, but in the earlier parts of the game, they're initiating onto Dominic. Dominic likes that, right?
Yeah.
But now RSG shifting gears slightly, switching up the strategy. But who do you catch? You catch Kiwi, he goes into his passive, right? You catch FMM, he goes to Brilliance, and then after that, hey, Ruby DD onto CS.
Yeah, Deck will be the only viable target, but Deck is positioning.
Yeah, man.
He's not showing himself, only coming out after Gear's positioning is exposed. Then he goes for the kill onto CS or to Roy.
Yeah, but if you take a look at the gold lead, still even, right? So which means that in terms of items, RSG does have the items to deal with Bleed, but they need to constantly go back to defense. So once again, Bleed's main goal right here is to make sure that RSG is super busy, right? Keep them occupied. Once again, just take a look at that cross-map plays.
Yeah, Deck cross-map plays once again. The Lord is up and running. This is going to be an 18-minute tanky Lord.
Yep, RSG needs to win this one, right? If not, it's going to spell a lot of trouble. In fact, the longer the RSG delays it, it goes worse for the side of RSG. Bleed is more than happy to dance around this Lord with RSG.
Yeah.
Plus the pressure across the map here, it's really going into their favor here. I'm not sure what is going to be the call here for the side of RSG.
Yeah, RSG needs to defend topside already. Yon leaves the scene already, and that's where Bleed strikes. Like I said, Bleed plays around the timing, and
There you go, Jay! Dr. J precision combo with a Times Revenge and bouncing ball. Everything here for RCSG was caught by surprise. Lord is free. Bleed in for the taking.
Yeah, that timing is so well timed for the side of Bleed. Once Yon just appears on the minimap for the side of Bleed, Jay catch a 3-man right there. Wonderful play coming out of Dr. J.
Dr. J.
I almost said Dr. Strange.
And now with that advantage, right? They don't go for that finish. They go for that safe play, taking out that Lord Bleed. it's all but theirs to lose.
Yeah, now not only just that, RSG should have a bit of a should be able to defend this with a 5-man. Just take a look at the recall time, death timers, right? Roy's coming back up, Close is coming back up, CS coming back up immediately, but they still need to constantly defend. RSG right now, once again, playing base defense.
And this is the difference between Roy's gameplay and Kiwi's gameplay, right? Kiwi on that Vexana, he probably wouldn't have died. But if it was Roy, he's in such an aggressive position. They know that he's always in a position ready to fight, and that just makes him so much more easier to read compared to what Kiwi does.
Yeah, and that's why we asked the question, right? Roy, I think it's probably because he's not really comfortable with immobile mages, right? But here we go. That's the Lord marching in. It's a 3-prong attack from Bleed.
They must defend. Glorious Pathway is here, trying to fend off the siege. Closer is here. Look at Kiwi. And now the implosion as well being knocked off with that Earth Shatter. They still managed to defend once again. RSG holding at the last moment.
Yeah, RSG is always so good at these base defense, right? Yon picking off MMM right there. That games his life. Gil finally made an implosion that he needs to defend against this one. But what RSG just did, in my opinion, is just delaying the inevitable.
I mean, they have that implosion. They have Roy. They could get that dream of that team fight magic going. And if they do get that just advantage, it could spell the end for Bleed. It's 22 minutes in. Death timers are insane right now.
Man, they need to translate this one for an objective takedown. They're forcing their way in the middle. Inner Charts in danger right now, and Bleed playing it safe.
Oh wait, there's knocking on the doors of Bleed right now,
Oh,
but
no.
RSG as they go back to defend.
You're getting back. Yeah, they need to defend that one.
Yeah, so our Bleed right now, lucky for them, their investments in the earlier parts of the game is basically paying off, right? Dex cross-map plays, keep RSG busy. RSG is always getting caught out of rotation, and that's what Bleed still have going into this game.
Yeah, and we run it right back right now. It's 5v5. The Lord is spawning.
We're back to square one again.
Yeah, Bleed, they have that creep advantage.
Yeah.
RSG, they took away the outer turrets, yes, but they still have to rely on the mistakes from Team Bleed.
Yeah.
Look at Gear here is scouting really risky at this moment. I think I cannot blame him. No, this is the thing. Oh, Caster's curse, man. He's been spotted and Gear going to die.
How many ultimates did he burn from that one? I think that's 2. Deck and also Kiwi, but mind you, that's going to come out anytime soon right now. RSG, no Peel, no tanks. The only technically tanky one is Closer and Eternal Guard. With the Lord spawning in 4 seconds, that's unfortunate for RSG, but very fortunate for Bleed. They caught a very good timing once again.
Yeah, they're gonna have to give up this Lord here. There's no implosion, there's no Tigreal, there's no tank ability on the front line. So Team Bleed, they're gonna get this for free, and RSG, they're gonna have to defend once again, but if they get caught,
man! Oh, no, Dr. J with a stop, with a pick. And this is going to be a big deal here. Going forward, they don't need the Lord at this moment. I think they can win this.
Yeah, it's 1 minute.
Death
1
timer,
minute on
1 minute on Yon, right? Gear's coming up pretty much soon, so hopefully he gets the implosion of his life right underneath the base turret for the side of Bleed. But hold on a second, Dominic goes in Glorious Pathway.
Yeah, with the Summon Force here being activated early on, trying to defend. Will he be able to hold though? That is the big question. And look at the back lines here. That's now Closer. Primal Wrath holding his grudge. Still managed to take a kill against the side of Deck. They again defend.
They hold.
RSG defended once again against Bleed, but that's not the final wave. The final wave, the Lord's marching down mid.
Yeah, there's still a lot to deal with. 3 members of RSG remaining, 20 seconds left on Yon. They have to hold this. Roy and CS, they have to make the defense of the lifetime Zamon's Force available though.
Gear has the ultimate. He has the flicker as well. It is going to be Dominic providing the space with the Glorious Pathway. Lord's bashing through. Minions are there for the side of RSG, and they will still hold. Jay popping, of course, the Tire's Revenge and cancel it in the last minute. Again.
RSG defended once again. This is a massive way. The only saving grace for the side of RSG is Bleed doesn't really have a traditional marksman, right? Had that have been a traditional marksman, RSG base could have shattered.
Yeah, RSG, they will have the same problem when they go for this base race though. They have CS. That's a lot of damage, yes, but it's still not a traditional marksman. And you need to be very close range. And Bleed, they will have that defense with Aurora.
RSG is on a tightrope right now, right?
Oh my god.
Bleed is sending waves and waves and waves against RSG. RSG is that cockroach hiding underneath your kitchen sink that refuses to die.
Steve, it's not you, but meanwhile here, it's going to be Jay here being started off an Eternal Guard once again. And now it is going to be this space being given by Dominic. Look at RSG. They are not faltering at this moment. They still want to fight.
Yeah, they know that an implosion is gone right now. So Team Bleed, they can force out some semblance of any objectives if they want to, but there's no objectives on the map.
Yeah, but right now RSG need to regain map control for a certain extent, right? They need to try to fight on Bleed side of the map. And don't forget, this is when teams get really, really scary, right?
Yes.
Going towards the later parts of the game. You give them momentum, all of a sudden they're winning team fights after team fights. It is the aggressor that is on the losing end because they're frustrated. Their patience running dry if they let the emotions get the better of them.
Yeah, this is where fatigue kicks in as well. So for these players, it's going to be whether or not that fatigue can force them to make that mistake right now. And Dominic, he is still doing a diligent job of checking that bushes. You only want Dominic and Jay on the front line. Nobody else on Bleed. And RSG, similar as well.
Jay, moment, do you believe in miracles? Let's see! Let's see! Dominic is here! He's been picked! This is big for the side of RSG! Now counter plays. They're going for the Rudy DD play, and now Jay is here in the middle as well. Look at the damage to the box there! Jay will be picked once again! 3-man down for Bleed!
RSG!
Miracles!
RSG is the cockroach that learned how to fly and is flying against Bleed right now. Don't forget, 3-man down, 60 seconds in terms of the death timer. Bleed needs to retreat. RSG takes the Lord.
Yeah, they will get this Lord for free, barring a spectacular play coming out from FMM or Kiwi. They're not in positioning for now, but we are looking at that instant replay from that team fight, right? They go on to Dominic. Dominic thought he could front line, but there was no semblance of peel, no follow-up coming through. The FMM and the rest coming through, but just not in time.
Yeah, the FMM Ruby DD right there did not tag onto a lot of these AoE, so that's why none of the damage is going through. Kiwi is slightly behind, but now it's going to be... Wait, what's going on?
They literally lost their very health. The base is a sliver of HP. Oh my god.
Imagine coming so far, we're watching the instant replay. Hey, the game's over.
Hey,
Huh?
Bleed just won? Okay.
I thought this is going to be a Winion game.
Oh man, it was that close. It was that close. And now, with both teams capped out at itemizations, it's really on that single magic team fight that we need to see out of RSG or Team Bleed. It can go either ways. It's 50-50.
RG needs this series, right?
Yes.
They haven't had a series at all until, well, no, they never had it at all, right? So RSG is more hungry for this win. Bleed, on the other hand, needs to brace themselves for the defense. At the very least, everybody is up, right? But RSG, unless, something goes wrong, and hopefully, Gear gets a wonderful implosion, it's all up to Gear. It's all up to Roy to land the magic Eternal Guard, and it starts now.
Will this be...
A lot of lane pressure, though.
Yeah.
Lord already crashing in onto the top lane.
Woo. This is going to be indeed intense here for the side of Bleed. They must hold. And look at the Glorious Pathways here. Look at the first damage as well. And now Dominic here in the middle. And look at closer at the base.
Finally!
So destroyed.